Crusaders, man. 33 points to 16. There was no second time around for the Highlanders on my squeaky chair. Yeah, man. Comprehensive first half performance. The Highlanders didn't play. Hurricanes in that second half looked a lot better. The rain came down. The Crusaders guys took their big guns off. So the second half looks a little bit better, but ultimately, man, Crusaders are still very, very good. And I'm pretty thankful my Blues are not playing them next week. I'll go through some of the key events of the game and the stats and whatnot. You guys can let me know your thoughts on how you thought it went. As my chair will squeak throughout the video, I'm going to get myself some WD-40, I think, for that sucker tomorrow. 5 minutes, first penalty actually goes the Hurricanes' way. So they were up 3-0, believe it or not. Hurricanes were in the lead in this game. And then Jackson Garden-Bachop, man, had a chance to score it with an intercept. Big old line break, but he gets run down by Severis and put out in the corner. Lester Faingaruku was there as well. He kept turning around looking for a support runner. The commentators were giving him a bit of stick for kind of slowing down. I'm not sure if he gets there either way. Severis was really moving, and Severis is a fair bit quicker than Lester, huh? I know Leicester's probably a lot bigger, but yeah, Severis has got some serious gas. Yeah, but missed chance for the Hurricanes. They had a bit of momentum early. Barrett kicks another penalty to make it 6-0 on 15 minutes. But then there's kind of a bit of a momentum shift. Taumatene has a poor kick, really poor. He just kicks it straight to the Crusaders' backfield, and David Havili just absolutely blasts it back with interest. So suddenly the Hurricanes, from a little chip kick from their halfback, are back on their own 22 under pressure. It's that kind of thing you can't be doing against the Crusaders. Adi Savia, though, from their own area, made a big old line break himself. And, man, like nobody's guarding the ruck. He grabs the ball. He runs very quickly because he is a very agile loose forward. He puts in steps and beats a defender. I think there's a good Hugh coming across. And then he puts in like a crossfield kick because he is getting mowed down. The ball goes into touch. It's a great play. And I'm thinking, man, there's that Adi Savia, who's one of the best players in the world. Or he gets yellow carded a few minutes later, which kind of takes a bit of the gloss off from it. Interestingly, both sides were getting penalised for leaning over the ball when they were going for pilfers, rather than actually getting their hands on the ball to pull it straight up. The old style trick of putting their hands over the ball and just kind of leaning on it and trapping it, and then the other guy gets penalised for not releasing. That's the way it used to be, and if you ever watched the old Super Rugby where the South Africans were still in it, Malcolm Marx was absolutely the king of that. He would lean over the ball. You could not move him to save your life. So he would always get the other guy penalised for not releasing the ball, even though he was clearly kind of trapped in there. But they don't do that anymore, at least not in this season. They were very strict on it, and both sides are a little bit slow to adapt. 18 minutes... Speaking of slow to adapt, Savia gets yellow carded for collapsing the maul. Probably lucky it's not a penalty try for the Crusaders because it was going to be a try for all money. But it doesn't matter because from a resulting scrum, I think it's reset, and then Taylor from a free kick, was it a penalty? Takes a tap, and yeah, man, he just goes over. Too powerful. Quick thinking, good power. In a battle which was going to be him kind of versus Amua ends up going off injured, and Taylor gets 2 tries. Yeah, he's still very good. So it's 7 points to 6. First 7 points conceded during the yellow card. Crusaders are in front. They will not relinquish that lead for the rest of the game. 24 minutes, or was it 29? 25. Neither. Mo'unga gets a try. It's Taylor with a big old line break. The gap is just way too huge, man. You can't leave Cody Taylor that kind of space. He passes it to Drummond, who immediately knows he's going to get tackled and offloads to Mo'unga, who goes up for a try. It's a proper thing of beauty Crusaders try. Even as a Blues fan, man, I was appreciating that glory. The Hurricanes guys did use their captain's referral to check the final pass wasn't forward. TMO says it's all good. I'm kind of glad it wasn't chalked off because it was such a good try. So suddenly it's 14-6 and it's 14 points during the yellow card. But not to be stopped at 14 points. Blackadder gets the 3rd try during the yellow card. They go like 7 phases, and Blackadder's just like a meteorite. He gets really low, goes over the line, and it's suddenly 21-6. So 21 points conceded during the yellow card. When you look at the scoreline in this game and how the second half went, I know if it's closer, the Crusaders probably leave the big guns on longer. So it's kind of hard to compare that. It's not really apples with apples, but 21 points during the yellow card. It's absolutely capitalizing, and it's so costly for the Hurricanes, chasing the game from then on out. Hurricanes did get a chance on 35 minutes. They had a 5-meter line out, chance to turn the momentum, and they can't secure their own line out ball. Pretty poor. And then 39 minutes, just to rub salt in the wound, Scott Barrett goes over in the corner. Nisbet says, like, that's the bonus point try, but that's pretty... They don't do the 4-try bonus point thing anymore, do they? It's been 3 tries more than your opponent for ages, so that was a bit of a bizarre line, seeing as that was the 4th try. Anyway, professional. They just spread it wide, man. Just too many guys out there. Missed the conversion, so it's 26-6. Looked at the stats at half-time. Obviously, Crusaders very dominant, man. Only 2 knock-ons in the entire first half, so pretty clean. Run meters 206 to 152. Possession 65% and 71% territory for the Crusaders, so pretty dominant. Penalties conceded is 6-4, with the Hurricanes conceding 6. Interestingly, they start the second half, and Talmatani and Jackson Garden-Bishop are nowhere to be seen. They've been replaced at halftime, and it's always been the concern of the Hurricanes this season, is their 9-10 combo up to scratch. Yeah. New 19 combo, and Almoa goes off injured 43 minutes, so not the ideal start for the Hurricanes in the second half. And then Taylor gets another try, man. It's a gift. Riccatelli's just come on. They've got a line-out throw on their own line, and it's a pretty bad one. Taylor pounces on it. Admittedly, it's raining pretty heavily by this point, so maybe it's wet, the ball, but yeah, it's pretty poor. So suddenly it's 33 points to 6, but that's the last scoring for the Crusaders. They don't score a heck of a lot of points in the second half. Hurricanes, on 54 minutes, they win a penalty at a scrum, actually, and they go for touch. They get a 5-meter line out. Adi Savia, he goes pretty close, and Blackadder at that point gets a head knock, and he looks real groggy, so he has to go off. So kind of wishing him the best, because, yeah, that looked really sickening, that one. But then a minute later, I think it is, Riccatelli gets a try, 56 minutes, makes up for the one that he conceded. A big old maul from the Hurricanes. If you haven't seen the highlights, you should go back and watch them. The All Blacks YouTube page puts them up real fast. He just peeled off the side at the right moment, lined up Moonga, and went straight over. Moonga was never going to stop Riccatelli from that kind of distance. So it's 33-11. They missed the conversion. Admittedly, 64 minutes, Will Jordan goes close. He puts a big old kick over, and he doesn't stop with the commitment, because he chases that sucker. Remember, with the goal line dropout, there's more incentive for guys to chase in-goal area kicks. I think it was Proctor lets it just go over the dead ball line, but man, it was very close, and Will Jordan is another pretty quick mover. The Hurricanes had some pretty good moments, but like just too many, like final pass was bad, or knock on, or threw it to the Crusaders player, or slipped over on the wet field. Just too many kind of poor execution moments. And again, when you look at that scoreline, yeah, not the best. It's the kind of thing the Crusaders don't usually make those mistakes, but yeah, it's hard. It had been raining in second half, like I mentioned. Will Jordan on 75 minutes looks to have scored a try. Sever Reese hoofs it long. Will Jordan's the first guy to get to the ball. He kicks it forward, some proper skill, and he looks to have scored the try. And you hear the Hurricanes guys complaining to the ref, and the ref says, look, you've used your referral, so bugger off. But the TMO calls him up on the blower and says, you better have a look at this grounding. And sure enough, he's not grounded it. So, yeah, no try for the Crusaders on that one. Pretty close. 76 minutes, though, the Hurricanes, really nice play. From that resulting dropout, Jordy Barrett kicks it to Salisi Rausi. He busts up the field. He gives it to Laumapi. I forgot to look up Laumapi's numbers, but not great. He probably had that one big line break, but Laumapi was kept really quiet in this game. But yeah, from that phase, they go 5 more phases. Pete Umaga Jensen, he gets a try from it's a cross kick from Jordy Barrett again. It goes to Julian Savia, who beats Lester Whanganuku in the air. And Peter Umaga Jensen capitalises and goes over for the try right before full time. So 33-16, that's the final score. Rausi, who have just been bigging up, he was really electric when he came on, knocks it on from the restart. So Hurricanes guys can't go without a bit of a black mark, so it's unfortunate, but yeah, so that's how it finishes. Interesting, knock-ons finished 6-7. Remember I said there was only one each in the first half, so second half a lot messier, just with the rain, I guess. Run meters finished 360 to 400, with the Hurricanes actually having more. And possession finishes 50-50, territory 51-49. Remember, Crusaders dominated first half, so Hurricanes kind of even things out in the second half with the reverse of those numbers. Line out, the Crusaders are 100%. Whereas the Hurricanes are 77. They missed a few, which is again poor. Penalties conceded was 14-6. Remember at halftime, it was what was it, like something 4-6. So it's only the Crusaders who concede penalties in the second half, which is a bit of a bizarre one. Yeah, individuals. I just looked up the stats now. Laumape finishes with 82 run meters, but I swear most of them are in that one run. He finishes with 1 clean break and 1 defender beaten. So he's not been quite as dynamic as we would usually expect from him. Whanganuku finishes with 57 run meters and 4 defenders beaten. McLeod has 68 run meters. In terms of tackles, Christie has 15 out of 17. He is always an absolute tackling machine. Karifi has 14 from 13. 14 from 17. 14 from 13 would be impressive. But yeah. Big guns going off for the Crusaders probably affects the result for sure. More knock-ons with the rain. That's definitely a thing. Apparently George Bauer is Boa, if Ian Smith is correct in his pronunciation. I've never heard that name, Boa. Like boa constrictor? I don't know, man. Isn't it Bauer? Am I wrong? I remember I said, who's it? Nisbet says Moore. And I say Moore for the surname M-O-O-R-E. And a lot of people said, no, I say Moore as well. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is Boa. I thought Bauer. B-O-W-E-R. Anyway, the Crusaders have got the Chiefs next. Again, thank goodness it's not the Blues. The Chiefs away in Christchurch. It's going to be tough. And the Hurricanes are on a bye. Maybe much needed at this point. But anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts on the game. It was a pretty entertaining one. It was a pity because, like, I was watching it with my son, and after maybe the Mo'unga try, he just goes to me, "Yeah, Crusaders are going to win," and he's only 5, and he knows that. So, in terms of the tension, there wasn't that. Like last night in the AU game and the night before, like that were close right to the death. Whereas this one was kind of like, okay, Crusaders are going to win, but still some spectacular skills, some proper moments, and yeah, shame about that yellow card for the Hurricanes, eh? Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. Talk to you again soon. See you later.